Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Infinity Break. Today, I wanted to bring you another theory. I know a lot of people have been saying over the last couple weeks they want to see more theories. I have had an epiphany, and now is the perfect time and the perfect excuse for me to give you guys yet another theory. So the other week, I had posted a theory that it was kind of sad, not that many of you guys seem to have watched. It was the Elder Scrolls 6 Peryite theory. Could Redfall be a plague, and could Peryite be the main, I suppose you could say, antagonist of Elder Scrolls 6. If you guys have not watched that video, I would definitely recommend going and watching it. I put a good amount of time into it, played through the Daedric quest in Skyrim, did a lot of research, and honestly just really put a lot of time into it. I'm surprised no one watched it. But today, instead, I'm going to be bringing you something that kind of spawned from that video. How many of you guys know who the Daedric Prince of Order, Jyggalag, is? For those of you who do know, you have played the Shivering Isles DLC or have done your homework. This guy is probably one of the strongest Daedric princes out there, so strong that all the other Daedric princes feared him so much that they had to curse him in order to actually stop him from taking over all of the Plains of Oblivion. This guy is strong. He is not someone to be trifled with. He is the main antagonist, spoiler alert, of the Shivering Isles DLC, and he was definitely a very interesting plot twist towards the very end of the DLC that kind of pulled the rug out from underneath you about Sheogorath. Like I said, spoiler alert, but it turns out that Jyggalag, the Daedric Prince of Order, was actually cursed to become Sheogorath.
It was not always so. Once I ruled this realm, a world of perfect order. My dominion expanded across the seas of oblivion with each passing era. The other princes, fearful of my power, cursed me with madness, doomed me to live as Sheogorath, a broken soul reigning in a broken land.
He is the exact opposite of what Jyggalag is. Sheogorath represents chaos, madness, complete utter randomness, something that Jyggalag, the Daedric Prince of Order and Calculation, does not like whatsoever. He was so upset about being turned into Sheogorath that when he was able to return to his true form every era, he would wreak terror upon the Shivering Isles in the form that he was originally in, and it would be known as the Grey March. The thing about Jyggalag, though, is that at the end of the Shivering Isles DLC, he is freed from this curse.
Once each era, I was allowed my true form, conquering this world anew. And each time I did, the curse was renewed, damning me to exist as Sheogorath. Now, though, you have ended the cycle. You now hold the mantle of madness, and Jyggalag is free to roam the voids of oblivion once more.
And this whole theory stems from the idea of him possibly returning in Elder Scrolls 6 for a reason that I actually have to credit another YouTuber for. But before I get too deep into the rabbit hole, I just wanted to say that this is Infinity Break, and this theory today is a theory I like to refer to as the Elder Scrolls 6 Jyggalag theory. Now before I get into it, like I said, I want to give credit where credit's due. There is a video right now by Avarti, a very popular YouTuber who also seems to be doing Elder Scrolls theories. He has a video called Alduin Won't Destroy the World. It is actually going into the idea that Peryite will be the one to destroy the world and bring an end to the Kalpa cycle. But I actually realized today that there was another person that might actually be the cause of the end of the Kalpa cycle. And it has to do with the whole idea of order. Now, the whole idea of this theory spurs from the idea of this video. Why Alduin won't destroy the world. See, the whole theory is that Peryite will be the one to destroy the world instead of Alduin. But I started thinking about it a little bit more, and then I started to think about Peryite might actually be the one to destroy the world, but he might be doing it through a plague and for his own reasons, not for the Kalpa cycle. That was the whole Peryite theory I did. But then I began to think about it a little bit more. Maybe Elder Scrolls 6 will focus on Peryite. And then me and my friend were talking and we thought, what if Peryite becomes, he comes into conflict with Jyggalag, the other Daedric Prince of Order. See, Peryite is also the Daedric Prince of Order, but he is the Daedric Prince of Natural Order, whereas Jyggalag is the Daedric Prince of Calculated Order. Both of them are both Princes of Order, but they both have a very different idea of what order is. See, where Jyggalag is more of a, like I said, calculated person and sees cold numbers and truths, Peryite sees things as life and death, the circle of life, disease, and keeping things equal. The whole idea is that these two would come into conflict, and maybe Elder Scrolls 6 would focus on that, and you would have to side with one or the other, and it would be quite the choice to make, though I feel like we should focus on Peryite if we were to make a choice in that case, because at least Peryite cares about some people and keeping some people alive at the end of the day, whereas, Jyggalag, for the case that I would be making for him, would probably not be someone you want to side with, given how he doesn't really particularly care how you feel or how anyone else feels at the end of the day. And while that theory still could technically hold weight, and I could definitely see something like that happening, considering that I think Peryite might actually be planning something this time around during the events of Elder Scrolls 6, I had an epiphany the other day. I was thinking about this the whole wrong way. What if Peryite isn't the reason the world might end or might not be the main conflict? What if he's not even in the limelight? What if it's Jyggalag? What if Jyggalag wants to end the world and bring the Kalpa cycle to an end? See, this simple idea popped into my head, and then my mind started connecting the dots. Imagine that meme, if you will, of Charlie Day looking at a wall with a bunch of papers and arrows sticking out from the center towards other ideas. That was me. I suddenly realized, holy crap, how has no one thought about this? Jyggalag is still roaming the Daedric plains of oblivion.
Now, though, you have ended the cycle. You now hold the mantle of madness, and Jyggalag is free to roam the voids of oblivion once more.
He has nothing keeping him in check right now. At least we have not been informed that there is anything keeping him in check right now. He is free to do whatever he wants. And the thing about it is, I don't know if he is just as powerful as he was back in the day, but Jyggalag is the strongest Daedric prince that there is. He is so strong that he made all the other Daedric princes have to pack themselves together in order to come up with a plan to defeat him, and it was not even a real way to defeat him permanently. It was a temporary solution that they accepted as a permanent one because they had no other choice. Because if you guys don't know, Sheogorath is the strongest Daedric prince, and that was because he was Jyggalag, and they couldn't get rid of him. And that's why no one wanted to piss Sheogorath off, because he had the strength to do whatever he wanted. He still technically is the strongest Daedric prince. The only thing is, Jyggalag is now free. He is no longer cursed to become Sheogorath. The champion of Cyrodiil became Sheogorath after he mantled Sheogorath by defeating Jyggalag. He became the new Daedric Prince of Madness. That is why Sheogorath still exists, and Jyggalag also still exists within the Elder Scrolls world. The thing is, though, Jyggalag was let free, and I'm not even sure if anybody else knows about this. See, the thing is, the only person that would know is Sheogorath, and possibly anybody else close to him, such as the Duke of Mania, the Duchess of Dementia, and maybe even Hamskell from the Shivering Isles, who was a part of the whole thing. And even then, who's to say that they're still alive and they still know? The whole idea is that Jyggalag is out there with unchecked power. He's roaming and free to do what he wants. And considering how much he cares about order, and considering the events of Skyrim being basically about defying prophecy and order as the way the world has been for countless aeons, who's to say Jyggalag won't notice? Who's to say he hasn't noticed? And who's to say he's not thinking of a way to correct this mistake right away? Between the events of Elder Scrolls 5 and Elder Scrolls 6, we don't know how much time that little gap will be. It could be 10 years, it could be 100 years, it could be another era. I highly doubt it'll be an entire era, but we don't know. It could be. Who's to say that Jyggalag won't be trying to correct the mistakes that Alduin had made? Who's to say he won't be fixing what should have happened? Correcting the order of things? who's to say he won't come back and actually try to end the Kalpa cycle, or just end the world? He doesn't even need the excuse that to end the Kalpa cycle. That's just something I feel like he could come back in a reason for. He could also just come back to get revenge. Everybody just seems to have forgotten about Jyggalag. Unless he was completely drained of power after being defeated by the hands of the champion of Cyrodiil, there's no saying that he won't come back. And they never confirmed whether or not he was out of power or not. They just said that he was free to roam the realms of Oblivion. So, yeah. In Elder Scrolls 6, the main antagonist could be the strongest Daedric prince that there ever was. And this could mean bad news for not only mankind, but the Daedra who defied him all those aeons ago, at the beginning of time. So yeah, that could make one hell of a story, don't you think? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. This was the smallest yet most impactful theory I think we could have for Elder Scrolls 6. I am looking forward to this game, and if this theory turns out to be true, I feel like we could have one hell of a story in front of us. If you guys agree with me, share the video, like it, subscribe, do whatever you feel you want to do. There's no pressure, but it really does help me out. I'm not that big of a channel, and I really put a lot of effort into what I do. And if you want to show your support, I would really, really much appreciate it. Anyway, this has been Infinity Break, reminding you all to say it with me now. Play well, eat well, and of course live well, friends. I hope you guys go out there and strive to break Infinity, and hope you look forward to a Fallout 4 video tomorrow. Until then, take it easy, guys.